Hello students, good morning. Here your teacher Dalsy. How's you all? So as you know कि कल हमने एक जनरल सी इंट्रोडक्टरी वीडियो की थी किस चैप्टर की द सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इन फ्लावरिंग प्लांट. Today we are going to continue up in a topic wise manner and we will discuss today the structure of flower and its part. And in the next lecture or the video we will discuss the formation of different type of gametes. Okay, so let's start today's topic, that is with the flower. So what is flower? Reproduction is of two type in flowers. It can be of sexual reproduction or can be of asexual reproduction. If only one parent is required in a mode of reproduction, that mode of reproduction is said to be asexual mode of reproduction. And the type of division found in this asexual mode of reproduction is mitosis. And the offsprings that are produced in this asexual mode of reproduction are just copies of their parent, means they are genetically identical to their parent. So asexual reproduction is the mode of reproduction in which offsprings are produced by single parent that are copies of their parent. While in sexual reproduction two parents are involved, both the parents they produce gamete, and with the fusion of these gametes a diploid type of zygote is formed. Necessary point here in this division is the process of formation of gamete involves meiotic division, which reduces the genetic material to half, and the baby have some kind of variation in comparison to their parent, means baby is not identical copy of its parent. Next come to the structure of flower. The structure of flower means it has two kind of part. First are essential parts which are involved in the process of reproduction, and other one are the accessory parts which are not actually participate in the reproduction. And those on those bases accessory parts are the sepals, the petals. The petals are colorful leaves present on the flower. Sepals are green colored leaves that have a capacity to protect the growing bud, and the stalk and the receptacle which has capacity to hold the flower on it. Next come to the essential parts of the flower which are necessary for the process of reproduction, and they are two. First one is carpel, that is also known as gynoecium, and second one is stamen, that is also known as the androecium. So stamen comprises of two parts, upper one is called anther and the lower one is called filament. The other essential part is carpel, and the carpel is usually singular, means the number of stamens is higher in the plants, and while the number of carpel is less. Usually one carpel is present, and carpel has three parts. Upper one is stigma, second one is style, and third one is the ovary. Stigma for reception of the pollen grains. Next come to the structure and function of flower, and the first structure that is found at the base of flower is receptacle. So receptacle is the part of plant which is present as a swelling at the base of flower, and its function is to provide support to the flower. Second part of the flower is sepal. Sepals are usually green in color, leaf-like structure. They are clearly visible when they surround the bud in the growing stage of the flower, and its function is just to provide the protection to the bud so that flower can grow well. Second one are the petals. Petals are colorful leaves present on the topmost part of the flower and are clearly exposed. Their function is to attract the insect for pollination and some other kind of task. For example, when the flowers are zoo pollinated, means when they are the plants which undergo pollination with the help of the animals, in those plants petals are large in size and they are very brightly in color. And the plants which undergo wind pollination, means with the help of air, they are not too exposed, I mean they are not too colorful and they are small in size. Now come to the essential parts of the flower. First essential part of the flower is stamen. So stamen, as I told you, it is the male part of the flower and it consists of two parts. First one is filament, second one is anther lobe. What is the anther lobe? It is the topmost part of the stamen and it is the storehouse of the pollen grains. It is the site where the male gamete actually grows after undergoing microsporogenesis, because it has microsporogenous tissue which when divide result in formation of microspores. Second one is the filament. Filament is a stalk-like structure present at the base of anther, and its function is to support the anther grains. Means the grains which undergo meiotic division are supported in this area of the filament. It contains vascular bundle so that it provides nourishment to the growing pollen grains in the antral part of the uh, stamen. Okay, so the work of stamen is to connect the antral lobe with the floral part so that it can harvest the nourishment from the vascular bundles. Secondly, it keep up the antral lobe upright and exposed to the wind and the animals so that pollination may occur. Next essential part of the flower is carpel, and carpel comprises of three further parts as is shown in diagram. Uppermost is stigma, central one is style, and the base one that is swollen in nature is ovary. So stigma is a kind of platform where the landing of pollen grains occur. Means during the process of pollination, the pollen grains are transferred at the stigma of the female carpel, and from that a tube arises that is called style, which joins the stigma with the ovary, and through this style the pollen tube penetrates inside the style so that the male gamete reaches toward the ovary and the fertilization may occur. Next part of the female flower is the ovary, and ovary is the swollen base part of the flower. It may have one or more ovules, means egg part, and it is necessary for the formation of seed because in this part after megasporogenesis gametes develop. Next is the formation of sex cell, that is called the male sex cell, and the process is known as microsporogenesis. So the pollen grain produce male gametes. In the pollen grains, most of the angiosperm, 60% of the angiosperm comprises of two male gametes, and that are called sperm nuclei. Here what is represented, that in the anther four lobes are present. In that case the microspore tissue is said to be the tetrasporangineous. Tetra means four, sporangineous means four kind of lobes are present. Externally it is बाइथिकस, दो थिका प्रेजेंट होते हैं. Internally it is tetrasporangiate, मतलब कितने sporangiate टिश्यू होते हैं, फोर. Inner to that sporangiate tissue, these sporogenous tissue they develop, means they grow, they undergo the divisions and result in formation of vegetative cell and generative cell. Further those cells divide, tube shall divide, and it result in formation of two male gametes, and ultimately the pollen grain develop. In thus when this pollen grain it germinate on the stigma of the flower, it result in formation of the pollen tube. So the anther has four chambers. Those chambers are called pollen sac. Inside each pollen sac, number of diploid microspore mother cells are present. Means those cells which have capacity to form the pollen grains. And this tissue is said to be the sporogenous tissue. These microspore mother cells they divide by meiosis to produce a cluster of four haploid cell. Means चार cell का एक cluster बनता है, उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, tetrad. Means tetrad stands for four. Four cell cluster is called tetrad. That each tetrad it breaks out and break out into four cell. From each tetrad कितने cells produce हुए, 4. It means you have 4 tetrad, तो कितने cells produce होंगे, 16. Actually on an average हम ये study करते हैं, in one sporogenous tissue 100 tetrads are present. So we will say 400 type of separate pollen grains produce up. Each pollen grain then divide by mitosis to form two nuclei. First is said to be the tube nuclei, and second one is said to be the generative nucleus. Tube nucleus surround the cytoplasm, around the cytoplasm, so it is known as the tube cell, and other one is said to be the generative cell. Once the pollen grain it have matured walls, means it start to mature up, it dries up and shrivel. जो लास्ट डायग्राम में रिप्रेजेंट किया था, श्रिवल करने की वजह से द शीद ऑफ द पोलन सैक इट टीयर आउट, वो फट जाती है, and it result in the splitting of or the exposing or the spread of pollen grain in the air so that the fertilization may occur from one point to the another. Okay, so for this necessary point, you must to keep in mind this, that what is microspore mother cell, where the microsporogenesis occur, how the tetrad form, and from one tetrad how many cells are produced, and from each that tetrad cell, from the four of the tetrad cell, a new pollen grain is formed. In the pollen grain also, two nuclei are present, tube nuclei and generative nuclei, which further divide to form tube nuclei, that is, and the two male gametes. And those male gametes, from those one mates with the egg part and result in formation of zygote and seed, and other one when fuses with the polar nuclei, it result in formation of the endosperm. And as you all know, this endosperm is the nutritive tissue that provide nourishment to the growing seed. Ultimately, this seed-like part, it start to grow and result in formation of the seedling. These seedlings, when come in contact with soil, they produce plumule and radicle, and these plumule and radicle formed result in formation of shoot and root of the plant respectively. These shoots and roots ultimately result in formation of stem and root of the plant, and a mature plant occur. Up to the attainment of puberty, this process repeats. When the plant mature up, again the flower produced, seeds are produced, and the process continue. This is all for today. Tomorrow we will discuss again the microsporogenesis in detail and the effect of pollen grains on our body. This is all for today. Thank you. Take care.